He looks 5 minutes, he says, all right, Mr. Feynman, go ahead. So he sat down and I told him all about neutrons, how they worked, you know, there are too many neutrons together, you got to keep the material apart, cadmium absorbs them, slow neutrons are more effective than fast neutrons, yak. All stuff which was elementary primer stuff at Los Alamos, but they had never heard of any of it. So I turned out to be a tremendous genius to them. I was the god coming down from the sky with all these phenomena that were not understood, never heard of before. I knew all about it. I could give them facts and numbers and everything else. So by being rather primitive back there at Los Alamos, I was a super genius at the other end. And I went away again. They told me to come back in a few months. They were going to redesign their plant for the separation. So I came back in a month or so, and Stone and Webster Company engineers had finished the design of the plant, and now it was for me to look at the plant, okay? How do you look at a plant that ain't built yet? I don't know. So I go into this room with these fellas, take me into the room. There was always a Lieutenant Zumwalt that was always coming around with me, taking care of me. You know, I had to have an escort everywhere. So he goes with me, takes me into this room, and there are these two engineers, and a long table, great big long table, tremendous thing, covered with a blueprint that's as big as a paper. Not one blueprint, but a stack of blueprints like this. I took mechanical drawing when I was in school, but I wasn't too good at reading blueprints. So they start to explain it to me because they thought I was a genius. And they start out, Mr. Feynman, we'd like you to understand, the plant is so designed, you see, one of the things we had to avoid was accumulation. Problems like there's an evaporator working, which is trying to accumulate stuff. If the valve gets stuck or something like that and accumulate too much stuff, it'll explode. So they explained to me that this plant is designed so that no one valve, if any one valve gets stuck, nothing will happen. It needs at least two valves everywhere. Okay. So then he's explaining how it works. The carbon tetrachloride comes in here, the uranium nitrate from here comes in here, it goes up and down, it goes through the floor, comes up through the pipes coming up from the second floor, through the blueprints, down, up, down, up. Very fast talking, explaining it. Very complicated chemical plant. I'm completely dazed. Worse, I don't know what the symbols on the blueprint mean. There's some kind of a thing that at first I think it's a window. It's a square with a little cross in the middle like this, all over the damn place. Lines with this damn square, lines with this damn square. I think it's a window. No, it can't be a window because it ain't always at the edge. I want to ask him what it is. Now, you must have been in a situation like this. You didn't ask him right away. Right away it would have been okay. But they've been talking a little bit too long. You hesitated too long. If you ask them now, they'll say, what are you wasting my time all this time for? I don't know what to do. I think to myself, I swear, often in my life I've been lucky. You are not going to believe this story, but I swear it's absolutely true. It's such sensational luck. I think, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I got an idea. Maybe it's a valve. So in order to find out whether it's a valve or not, I take my finger and I put it down in the middle of one of the blueprints on page number 3 down in here, and I say, what happens if this valve gets stuck? Figuring they're going to say, that's not a valve, so that's a window. So one looks at the other and says, well, if that valve gets stuck, and they go up and down in the blueprints, up and down the blueprints, other guy up and down the blueprints, back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth, they both look at each other and they chick, 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 and they turn around to me and they open them out like this. You're absolutely right, sir. They rolled up the blueprints of the way they went, and we walked out. And Mr. Zumwalt, who'd been following me all the way through, he says, you're a genius. He says, I got the idea you're a genius when you went through the plant once and you could tell them about evaporator C21 and building 9207 the next morning. He says, when you knew all about the neutrons, you were a genius. But what you have just done, he said, was so fantastic. I want to know how do you do something like that? I told him, you try to find out whether it's a valve or not.